She doesn't even go here.
I'm bi, actually.
Excuse me. Could the ugly, untalented gays please report to the principal's office?
Hi, I'm Kurt Homo, and I'll be auditioning for the role of kicker.
Hello! Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Not So Straight Nerds. I'm your host, Luke.
I'm your host, Alicia.
And today we are going back to Love Island, back to the villa. What episodes are we covering today?
We're covering 23 through 24. So I never put
23? We're covering 2 episodes?
No. Sorry, 23 through 27. My bad.
Okay, I was just saying. What?
I try not to put the After Sun episodes because we don't cover those because those are like their own little podcast recap, whatever. Indie podcast. Nobody knows it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. So basically, I feel like the big things is we're covering movie night and this last recoupling and dumping. And there's a lot to talk about.
I agree.
A lot of disappointing things to talk about.
Yeah.
But you know what? What's our vibe? How are we doing?
How are we doing? The vibes are really silly in here today.
They are. But also, we have 2 fun things. We have the 4th of July. Happy 4th, everybody, if you celebrate.
This season of America.
Anyways, it's the big 250. Shout out to the Kelsey brothers who had fucking Prince Harry on their podcast. And, right? Or William. I don't know the difference. I'm so sorry. One of the royal families. And was like, be honest. Did you think we would last this long? And I think that's really funny to ask a British person, much less the royalty. Anyways, but speaking of them, also happy Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce wedding day.
It just happened.
I hate it though because apparently she's taking his name on paper, but still gonna have her stage name. Fair enough. It's her choice, but I'm like,
Mwah.
could have been like Tom and Zendaya, where it's like he's just Tom now. Like that's people just. He's just Tom now. He probably did change his name just to Tom, and I feel like that's really funny. Anyways, even though she definitely does have a last name, but I think it's funny anyways. So we got some fun stuff anyways, even if this episode, they're going through it. A lot of them are going through it. Yeah, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
So let's refer to the outline, which I just had open, but
I think the first thing you wanted to talk about Friendship Island.
Friendship Island. We will get to the specifics. But
Okay.
You know what? This last group of episodes has really kicked in my hatred of Friendship Island. Now.
Because people had talked about that at the beginning of the season, and I didn't really understand what they mean because when people said that, I pictured the iconic trio of friends in season 6. And I was like, why wouldn't you want that? That's like the best part of season 6. That's what makes it. That's like objectively why people love it is because of the 3 of them. But I think what we have found is more people we're probably referring to the fact that everyone wants to stay friends on the island so they get over conflicts very quickly. That perhaps should not be handled so quickly. And then they just like encourage people to forgive and forget for things that they should not forgive or forget. And that's very frustrating, just in the name of keeping the peace. And I think that's not only very annoying to watch, but also just not healthy. Like, I understand keeping the peace and trying to be mature. Like, that's always a great goal. But there are ways to go about that doesn't enable toxic behavior,
Yes.
forgive toxic behavior, at least so quickly.
And it pushes so many people who are being wronged
Yeah.
to continue to be wronged.
Yeah.
Especially this season.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's truly with the general audience that watches Love Island. I'm fairly I don't think that that's the Friendship Island they're referring to, but it's the Friendship Island they should be referring to.
Yes.
It's making the island less interesting because you're showing these people do horrible things, but then they don't have any consequences for it because it's just like, oh, you did me wrong and I yelled at you for that, but I'm sorry about that.
It's like, again, to bring up season 6, because season 6 is so good, this is like the blueprint that they have been trying to recreate since then. It was good because they had all that yelling. Movie night was crazy. The Casa recoupling was crazy. They yelled at the men, but then they stood by that. And like, I think of Serena Cordell, like the next morning trying to bring her breakfast, and she literally dumps it all over him. And it's like, people hated that, but I'm like, that's you not accepting that behavior and just moving on. Like, I wish some of these girls had the backbone to do that. And it's frustrating because, like, no, it shouldn't be on them to, like, fix it. But I feel like they are in charge of how they respond to bad behavior. Because it shows, like, what they're willing to accept. And I think it's sad what they're willing to accept. And that's what made it so fun, is nobody just, like, forgave and forget 2 seconds later in season 6. I think people also bring up a lot UK, the season 5 of UK. I haven't watched that, but from the sound of it, it kind of sounds like similarly, you know, where they just didn't take disrespect. And they're more than just all mouth, basically. And I don't like how our girls are moving this season, and it's very aggravating. And it's like, yes, the movie night this season, people were saying, you know, it's one of the best episodes since season 6, and it was so good. And then the aftermath of that, of them almost immediately forgiving all of them, it almost like took away. Like, now I don't look at movie night the same.
Well,
now
because now it's like,
good.
it's all talk and like making yourself big, and they're coming in with the energy of like, hey, so we both did some wrong things, and it's like, no, he screwed you over, you reacted like a normal person should, it would, and could.
Yeah.
And then most of them are trying to make it seem like it's equally bad on both sides. And that's not it.
It's the whole Kenzie is the female version of Sincere of it all that makes me go, y'all don't understand the disrespect that has been done to you. Because, and I say that for the audience too, if you think Kenzie is like the female version of Sincere, you're dumb. I'll say it. You're misunderstanding the situation. And I think that's sad, and it's not a double standard. I think they're just two different situations that were handled 2 different ways. Now, does that mean that Kenzie's perfect? No, we'll get to her. But, and it's also just the way the girls on the show are responding to Kenzie versus Sincere's behavior. How they were all like, kind of pretty harsh to her, and in the response of it all, which fine, you know, they want to say what they say and then they move on. But then with Sincere, it's like Melanie yells at him, and then the very next morning, all the girls are like, you should forgive him, like he likes you, but like you guys like each other. Oh my gosh, we're team Sincere. The second he like makes breakfast for her at like the bare minimum. It's crazy. The second they were all like in unison, like Team Sincere, I'm like, I'm kind of over this season. I'm over it. I'm ready for it to end. I don't know. I'm not even looking forward to the reunion, because the reunion can have some moments too where some couples that have been blinded through the season watch the show back and are like, oh, see it from a different way. I think of like Aaron and Kaylor. That was kind of how it went down with them. Is Kaylor finally stepped away from him officially after the show, after watching it all. I don't have faith that that's going to happen with any of these couples.
Well, because right now, after movie night, basically everyone's cards are on the table.
Yeah.
And everyone's still acting like people are okay. And I couldn't.
I'm over it.
And I'm so curious how much it is production and how much of it is conscious choice.
Yeah.
So I want to go into Anaya. I fear Anaya is kind of right in the middle of the friendship island issue for me.
Yes.
And that being said, I think Anaya is so sweet. I think she's very kind and like personality, so great.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. Anaya as an individual, I love.
And I think when she's hyping up her friends, she does a great job. And we've said that from the beginning, but that also, you bring that up, reminds me that way back when Melanie had some bad behavior, she was enabling that as well. So this has been a pattern for her of keeping the peace by enabling bad behavior. And it doesn't just go for guys. That went for Melanie too.
Absolutely. And so I think her conversation with Casey after movie night, and you know what? Her going up in front of the guys and saying like, that was crazy. I don't want that to be me. That's out of character.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Love. You know what?
Yeah.
Ate that.
She's better than me, but I love her for that. I think that was very mature, and I appreciate all the guys saying something similar. Like, wow, that really impressed me.
And then the next day she has the conversation with Sincere, and it's the most genuine he's ever been.
Casey.
Yes, Casey. I think I'm glad she can get closure from that. And you know what?
Yeah.
Even with that conversation, you don't need to forgive him. You want to forgive him? Go for it. Power to you.
And personally, I still don't buy Casey. I think it's still
No.
fake genuine. I don't think he's ever actually been sorry. But you know what? She has her piece, and I'm happy for her.
Because he wasn't sorry about it until he got caught.
Yeah.
And if you're doing that
So I
shit,
just don't-
then
Even then, he was defensive. Like, he was still like being rude and disrespectful. Like, I just no longer believe anything he says. I think he's adapting when he realizes what he can get away with and what he can't.
his idea, he goes
So
into that conversation being like, I'm never being heard out. And it's like, you aren't like not talking. You're trying to talk, but you're not saying anything valid in the moment.
You're also, if you want to be heard out, I don't know, when you pull Anaya, maybe talk first and not refuse to talk. Like, that's why I'm like, I still don't think he's genuine. I would never talk to him again, but she got her closure and I'm happy for her. And that's where I'm going to leave it.
But then she takes the sentiment of, I forgave Casey, and that was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And projects that on all the other girls.
Yeah, even though it's like, you had a good conversation and have now moved past it, but you're not in a couple. And I think that's the biggest difference that she's not understanding here is these girls, sure, if they want to find peace, then they can forgive the men, even if they don't deserve it, just for their own peace of mind. But don't encourage them to stay in that couple. Like, if you're equating this two situations, you're no longer with him because he doesn't deserve you. So don't sit there and tell them, forgive them, and be with them. That's not your scenario.
And like, regardless if it was your scenario, you're not them. And
Yeah.
you were ready to forgive someone who did you wrong.
Yeah.
They are like, shut up trying to tell them they
Ugh, it's so
are going
frustrating.
to or have to.
Yeah.
Because saying that you are going to forgive them is basically just saying, get over it now.
Yes.
That's all that is.
She's doing too much with, like, pushing for the forgiveness, too. It's not like they came to her and was like, what should I do? And she's
It's
like...
unasked for.
Yeah, it's unasked for. They're literally sitting there yelling at her back, stop telling me that and just be on my side and support me. And she's still not doing that. And I think that's so
crazy.
weird. It's like, it's so unprompted. Like, I want to give her leeway so bad. It's like, but they're not coming to her for advice. They're not in her vulnerable place. They're not like saying, I don't want the advice you're giving. They're literally saying, stop telling me that. Stop telling me to forgive him. And you're still saying it. And it's like, at that point, you're a bad friend. It's like, at some point, you're trying to be a good friend, but you're misguided. The second they tell you to stop telling you that advice and you're still doing it, you're a bad friend. It's weird because I feel like she's enabled bad behavior, but she's never not been a good friend. And I feel like I am at the point where I'm like, she is acting like it's getting there.
There for yeah.
I mean, it's not like gone or anything, and I still do think at the end of the day she has good intentions. But it's past the point of misguided. It's like now it's like you can't admit when you're wrong. I don't know. It's just very messy, and I don't like that for her.
It's crazy.
Please.
And
stop.
I think something that stands out to me, and you know, I think we disagree on this a little bit, but I think the way Kata being a girl's girl is a lot better than I think Anaya's attempt at being a girl's girl. Where it's like,
yeah.
I think she has her opinions and has her thoughts like in that same room where she's like, I'm team sincere.
Yeah.
But then Kata comes in and is saying, and what about team Melanie's feelings? And then, you know, whatever, Sincere pulls her, whatever, and she's like, I am team Sincere. But you know what? I respect you putting that aside for the person who's actually in that relationship when you're, like, whatever. You have your opinion.
She's doing better.
I think, like, just point blank period, be what that person needs you to be right now.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think she's doing a better job. I still don't think she's doing a great job, but yeah, she's doing better than Anaya's doing by at least saying, well, what about Melanie and what about her feelings? I do think in certain situations, like with Kinsey, her comparing her to Sincere, gross and misguided, especially when you're in the couple that you're in. But I do think she's still handling it better than some other girls.
And I don't know, truly as a warning, everyone is comparing her to Sincere. So whether or not it's valid or not, it's a fair warning. Yeah. I think.
She's not the only one saying that.
And she's the only one coming in, I think, trying to be like, hey, like, I think tough love of, like, the reality of situation, I think truly is what Kenzie should be hearing, where it's like, hey, regardless of how valid what you're doing is or not, it's being perceived bad. So
yeah,
either course correct or be prepared to face that.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. Is that right?
I think that's it. We'll circle back maybe the specifics of the effects of Friendship Island as we go through the couples, but
yeah.
Did not think I would be anti-Friendship Island, but and actually
in that way I am as well.
I'm also going to throw out TT in this adjacently because Homegirl, this is like you've been in this villa for like less than a week. And this is like your third or fourth time having a crazy incident where you're trying to come in as a devil's advocate. And later on, like when you apologize, you come in with, I think, valid points. Mm-hmm. But in the moment, you come in not saying them and just yelling at people who are like objectively the victim of the situation. And you come off horribly. You come off as continuing to jump someone who's already down and trying to like regain their like power in a situation.
Yeah.
It is just so gross. And I think one time you come in on the recoupling, you handle yourself poorly, you apologize for it. I think that's one thing. I think it's a horrible situation for anyone to be in. I think there's like, it is impossible to set a standard for that. Whatever. But then you continue to do that every time. And I'm like, and now this is like a problem.
Yeah.
That you have.
Yeah.
And it's...
This is a pattern. This is when sorry doesn't mean anything because you're not actually changing your behavior. It's very confusing because obviously like everybody hated her like when she first came in and yelled at everybody. Rightfully so, because that's really weird and gross. And then she apologized for it. We were like, okay, whatever. Like, production is probably also telling y'all to play nice. So, whatever. Keep the peace. She apologized. Whatever. Let's move on. And then she does it again. And she does it again. But then she'll also sometimes say something that's really supportive and sweet for the girls. So it's so confusing. It's such a whiplash. It's like, yeah. Oh,
But
it's so it's such different reactions. Like, how do those two share a break? That, like, I think of movie night. She said something. I don't even remember what it was, but I think it was in support and defense of Anaya.
No, it was
was it?
against Anaya because
Well, one of them is something. She said something supportive, and then she was ugly again to Anaya for no reason. After Anaya was like, "You're so beautiful. You're so
Yes.
sweet. Like everything."
because that part that I do remember very vividly was after Carl and Anaya's video, and the men were like, "So that's a double standard. Let's talk about that." And Casey's like, and Anaya's like, "Where in that video was I talking any disrespect about you? The problem is not that you explored this like attractive, this kind, this fierce woman over here. The problem is that you were disrespecting me while you were doing it."
Yeah.
And then she comes in being like, "But you didn't know that happened whenever you were all tough and whatever at the recoupling." And it's like, but also her problem there, which maybe she's not wording this properly either way, is that he had never talked about wanting to explore otherwise. And
Yeah.
was constantly lying about that. So he created a false impression to her, which is a problem inherently that she's allowed to be upset about.
Yeah.
And then add on top of it that he was doing it with the worst of intent.
Yeah, well, and I think they forget that they saw the heart rate challenge. I think that was a big thing for them. And so she did see his disrespect in that way. But she honestly, I feel like I don't remember her getting heated until he didn't say anything. He didn't really like show remorse.
No,
or
it comes
any
in and he's like,
care.
"I don't care about your feelings." And
Yeah,
it's like,
that's when she gets mad. And then he tries to say, "Well, you didn't pick me that first day." That's when she gets mad again and is like, "I picked you every time after that. You're the one who didn't pick me in this scenario. You can't sit here and say, well, you didn't pick me the first day. You didn't pick me now." That's like a valid and timely reaction.
yeah.
And then, of course, she's getting mad again because now she's seeing all the disgusting things she said about her, or he said about her. So it's like, I don't know. That's
Like,
just so frustrating.
girl-
I don't even remember what she said in support because her nasty
It does. It
behavior
pales
after
in
that.
comparison.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's like, but it's so like, how do you share a brain? I don't understand that.
No, it's so weird to me.
I don't know.
Ugh, okay. Moving away from Friendship Island. The Love Island app. Okay. The voting, typically, I think it's fun. Have your app.
Yeah.
I think it's really exciting that so many people are wanting to have this, that it is, like, shuts down.
Yeah.
I think that's a really fun thing for this show to have.
Mm-hmm.
I think, after this last episode, I'm officially on the board. This is not on any channel anywhere, to our knowledge. So, like,
Not that I'm aware of. Because it's not live. Like, the second we see it, anybody
Yes.
sees it, it's when we can see it.
yes. So why in the app it hits you with like all of these like, oh my gosh, how do you think this is gonna go in the episode that's currently completely out right now?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, you need to make your questions like after the fact reflective or predictive,
Yes. Not in the
predictive of the episode they're actively watching, because it's all out and people are all
Yeah.
seeing that.
Well, a lot of people, like, they skip to that's why I try not to go on Twitter at all, even when we just start it, because people will skip to the end
Yeah.
to get spoilers. So, this is not Dancing with the Stars. You can't skip forward in Dancing with the Stars. You can skip forward here. So, I agree. I think they should be
It just creates a false impression of everyone like being in the same thing at the same time that
Yeah.
like TV shows have had. So it's just, I think, whatever.
Yeah.
Like you have some gold here.
yeah.
You just have to. I would rework it a little bit.
I would.
And then it would be really
I
fun
think,
constantly.
if you want to do stuff during the episode, you could say, so-and-so said this or did this. How do you feel about
Those
that?
ones I think are fun. But like
Yeah.
the rankings in the middle of the episode, I'm like, and who has time for this?
Yeah.
Unless you have like Peacock with ads, which
Yeah.
is like, power to you guys. I hope you guys are getting your rankings in, but
Yeah.
then still the whole episode's out. So it's a weird dynamic.
Well, and I'll say I feel like at this point they could also improve the voting too. I feel like bringing Carl back was kind of useless. It's like we know he's coming back. I wish it kind of like actually had stakes. Even this next one, I don't fully understand where they're going with it, what they're doing with it. But, you know, voting for your favorite couple, it's like, okay, we all know who like 90% of people are going to vote for. So this is kind of boring. Maybe they're doing it like then they'll get to stay in the hideaway. Maybe they're doing it because the couple that gets the least amount of votes will get dumped. I don't know. But either way, it still kind of feels useless because everyone's going to vote for pretty much the same couple. So I think it would be nice if I felt like our votes counted more.
I agree.
Sometimes. I don't know. I'm not against a silly goofy vote. Like I loved bringing Carl back, even though everyone knew he's gonna bring back. But I think now it feels like the second time in a row that our votes are kind of like whatever. I could like not vote and still feel okay with the outcome. And that's no fun. I want to feel like my vote kind of matters, or at least have a fun one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree. It feels like ultimately the votes are like set up in a way to do what production was already planning.
Yeah.
Which
Exactly.
is like, it's boring.
To make us seem like our votes matter, but they don't.
The illusion of choice.
Yeah. I totally agree. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Just work on that, Love Island. Next up, the boys getting to choose. I am sick. And if I ain't sick, I'm tired. I am sick
It's
and
so
tired.
annoying. I can't even remember the last time the girls got to pick. Maybe it wasn't that long ago, but I feel like we're both remembering the last time was when Kinsey picked Corbin over Sean. And that was like week 1. And honestly, that's probably not the last time, but that's the last time we can remember. Because then obviously the letter thing, it had to be mutual. Some of the recouplings, you know, we got to choose. So it wasn't like quite true. And so now it's like, okay, you went through all the effort to create all these videos to expose how horrible these men are. And then you're going to let them choose to recouple and not the women. Then you're doing all that and then taking the power away from women. And I think that's gross. And I think it's boring too, because I think this recoupling went exactly how everyone thought it would. And the girls, I'm not saying would have been any more fun, but I think maybe 2 or 3 of them could have shaken it up more than the boys did. Versus all the guys picked exactly how I thought they would. So, we could have had a chance of a couple fun ones, and here we did not. So. Boring, snooze fest.
Tomato.
Yeah. And then even the dumping, I think the dumping was set up in a cool way, like if nothing else, a
The
visually
design of
interesting
this
way.
show is so
Yes,
fun. It has
it's
such a
very
fun
fun.
aesthetic. Production, you're doing the most, and you're doing a lot of heavy lifting. Certainly more so than casting.
Now, I don't know why each couple got 2 hearts. I feel like it's a little silly when they have to
Yes.
decide together. It's like, I get there's 2 people here, but you only have 1 choice. I thought that was a little silly, but that's just kind of nitpicky. It's whatever. I loved when they slid it in, it was a broken heart. That their thing could get full, and someone's did. And I ultimately think the right 2 couples went home. I see people complaining, you know, like, you said it wasn't, like, Ariana told you all not to vote Friendship Island. I'm like, let's be real. Yes, she said that, of course. But they were never going to vote off, like, the OGs, like Casey or Corbin even, Zach. Like, they were never going to vote off OGs. Like, I'm honestly surprised that Melanie and Cecilia got 2. I'm actually a little surprised. Happy, but a little surprised. So, I don't know. I wasn't surprised. I'm not saying that makes it good, but also they kicked off the 2 most boring couples, so I'm sorry. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I'm happy that the 2 most boring couples are gone.
What?
Sorry, guys.
Amora, you deserved better.
Yeah.
Batty did not have a chance.
And also, Gaul, someone pointed out that he was like, I'm making breakfast for Jen even though she's mad at me. Because what am I going to do? Let her starve? And then they paralleled that with Zach. The one day he was saying to Kate, I'm going to make you pancakes. And she's like, I'm not really feeling pancakes. And he was like, okay. And she's like, okay, I probably just won't eat anything. He's like, well, you can make yourself something. And when Gaul is doing better than anyone, that's sad. Because he's crazy. I am excited for him to come back to his coffee shop and all the girls are going to be like, what the fuck? Anyways.
What?
I'm also happy for my girl Jen because someone reminded me. I was like, oh, she's going to be so sad that she went home the day that Taylor Swift got married. But they reminded me that it's in advance. So she is home by the time. So she's here. Yeah. She would have been home by the time that happened. So I'm happy for her that she didn't have to miss that. So.
Okay.
Jaden and Caleb. Jaden, you were boring. I don't really care for you. I'm sorry. I mean, you seemed nice, I guess.
She ate him a little at the end there.
Yes. I was honestly
Let's go there.
In the preview, I was like, you're mad at him for saying you don't want him, but like that's true, you don't want him. But the way he went about it is the reason she was mad, and I agree with her. This is why you shouldn't take the previews and run with it, because you gotta see the full context. He was not only just venting and whatever about his siblings. Okay, siblings and friends are different. It's not really the same. Anyways, his excuse was weak, but whatever. He was doing it like 5 feet away from her where she could hear him, and that's crazy, to the point where when Jaden was saying I can hear them, Bryce like turned around.
Yes,
because I'm like, that's crazy. That is very petty. Again, whatever, I guess if you want to like confide in people, I think there's a way to do that without being petty, which is what I feel he was doing.
Like, he already had that conversation before and didn't do anything with it.
Yes.
And then here he does doing it, trying to, like, one-up himself after the fact. And it's like,
I think that's...
if you're getting opinions from everyone on the island before you talk to your partner to let them know there's a problem, that's on you.
Confide in a couple people, that's fine. But do it in private and actually ask them for advice. Tell them the situation, ask them what you should do and how you should go about it. I don't feel like that's what he did, and therefore I do agree that it was very messy and petty. And I love the way she handled that. She's like, you're going to talk to me now since you want to talk to everybody else. No, you're going to talk to me now. And I loved
And then he
that.
gets into that conversation so defensively, and I'm like, you're the one who raised this tension.
She's like, just talk to me instead. He's like, I'm literally doing that. And that's because she pulled you. So let's stop being aggressive. So gross. I'm like, Caleb, you seemed sweet, and now you gave me the ick right before you left, and good riddance. I'm okay with, like,
it's
I'm over
giving
it.
everything that happened with Kenzie, and I do ultimately land on Kenzie did him dirty.
I do think so. I think she tried not to, but I think ultimately she did. And I think she realized that and took ownership for that. And I appreciate that because that's more than most of the boys did.
Mind you, she did tell him that she was exploring, and he pushed him to explore. Homie never explored any other relationship other than the one he was put into the entire time he was here. And then he's projecting like the victim of it all.
That's the thing, is she never actually chose him when she had the choice. And so it's like, I understand you have chemistry. America saw something, so maybe there's something there. You're her type. Like, I understand you thinking that she would like you. And I think she did. But it's like you're putting your eggs in one basket when she's telling you not to. And could she have been more direct with you? Sure, for sure. And I think she realized that and admitted that. But also, it's not like she enthusiastically chose you over Corbin. Like, it was taken away from her. And she still gave you a chance while telling you to explore, and you didn't explore. And fine if you didn't want anybody else, but then, that's just how this is
Then
how
don't-
the cookie crumbles. I don't know.
Yeah, but then don't make that the girl's problem.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I could suck, but like, I don't know. I think she could, anyways.
It's
We
giving.
kinda already.
Ultimately, I think both Kenzie and Caleb were not meant for this show, but
Yeah.
she's trying to be made for this show.
She's trying, and I think even she's saying it's hard. I don't know how to go about this because I've never done this in real life. Like, I don't have any practice on how to date multiple people while also communicating with them and not making it weird. Like, it's so unnatural.
And the people, and I can't respect people like Dylan who don't have the room to like be like, yep, this is a weird situation. Like, if you're gonna cry because your partner kissed somebody else, you're on the wrong fucking show.
That I'm so glad some people are starting to clock that was weird, because also, one, you can't sit there on movie night and be like, this is the same thing she did to me. Okay, those episodes were out and ready for you to watch before you came to Casa.
And everyone has admitted to seeing what Sincere and Melanie's relationship was.
Yes.
So you have been watching.
So you've
So
seen
you're
it.
just trying to play the victim to make sure that you don't leave.
Like, I'm not saying she's not potentially doing you dirty too. Maybe she is with Galt. I don't know. But honestly, I don't care for you. So I don't care. I don't care for the tears. I don't think they're genuine. It's giving like the Casa girls if their men did them dirty like they did to their original woman. It's like you knew what you were potentially getting into. And also, you've known her less than a week and you're crying. I don't know. I feel like that's weird to me.
Yeah.
Whatever. I think it's a little performative. And this latest episode, he was doing all the posing, and I was like, I'm getting
He's
the
ick.
He's so icky. I think he's trying to go viral, and it's not working. Yeah. You can't force viral moments. They just happen.
Indeed. So, on to some of the major events. I can only remember two, which is movie night split in half, and then the couple dumping voting. But we already talked on that.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like we covered a lot of that. I mean, everything I wanted exposed was pretty much exposed. I would have liked to see Zach being exposed for how he talked to Trinity in the earlier days, but honestly, I don't really think that would have led to anything anyways. I think it would have been whatever. There was...
You know the biggest thing that I think was really missed?
Mhm.
Whenever Sincere went to Casa Amor and showed Amora how to say her name in sign language, and then the episode of the day of the movie night, he's telling Melanie about how to do the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Dude, that was so teed up to be like, oh, hey, girl, he's recycling.
With the beloved thing. Yeah.
Like,
could've
I
been
think a
good.
missed opportunity there, methinks.
And then with him, the only other thing with him was when he said he was forgetting what Melanie looked like.
Oh my
I
god,
would
that's
have liked
crazy.
that. Yeah, I would have liked that to be shown. The sign language thing, I agree. I wish that would have been shown, but I can see how, since that happened the day of, maybe they didn't have time to edit that. But I'm forgetting what my girl looked like. The girl I've known for 3 weeks is crazy. I mean, I still don't think it would have led to much change, anyways. But I don't know.
But then it would have been you if we had been here longer. Crazy thing
I'm
to
glad
say.
that was
The
shown.
worst thing to say in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm making this choice, but know that I could have made another choice. It's like, what a horrible thing to say to hurt both girls in the situation.
Yes.
It's like, I'm not even leaving you because I just know we're not right now. It's maybe, but I'm gonna do this cause, and dude,
It's such a nothing statement. Like, he makes all these promises. Like, he says, oh yeah, it's 50-50, and then it's clearly not. I don't believe anything that comes out of his mouth.
and you know what? Him having that conversation with Melanie and bringing up the idea that he's like a people pleaser, assuming that we take that as like I think if that is true, which to some element I think is true, but it's like twisted into such a horrific and manipulative way.
Yeah.
Because so truly, I think that man is either incapable or unwilling to have a conversation where he's not saying what he thinks is the best thing for the other person to hear. To the guys, to the girls, to whatever partner he is with or exploring.
Sorry, that reminded me of Hamilton.
And
Anyways.
I think it brings up similar things in the idea of Friendship Island, where it's like,
Yes.
a friend to everyone is a friend to none. If you're not
Yeah.
going to stand up for anyone, including the person you're in a couple with,
Yeah.
including the girls that you're trying to claim you have like a deep friendship with, Anaya,
Mm-hmm.
while Casey talks crap on her constantly, and you're not going to warn her about that, you're going to encourage him to do that, and then you're going to go to Anaya and say that Casey's being messy, you're just a friend to no one.
Yeah.
And that makes you nothing. And then specifically in the way that everyone on the island was calling Melanie crazy for how you were acting with Soul, that is gaslighting, and that does not happen on accident. If you are just a people pleaser who just feels the need to say the best thing to everyone in a conversation you're in, then there would be like discrepancies in what people are being told. But everyone except Melanie and Soul heard one statement and they all believed one thread. And that doesn't happen on accident. That is manipulative. That shows concentrated effort. Like, if that is like at its core people pleasing is like how society crumbles.
No, yeah, I think his behavior's been insane, and I'm over him. I think he's actually, so far, I would actually say the worst. I mean, Casey was definitely very nasty, but I think, they've gotten over it. Sincere, it's like a toxic manipulative cycle that has still not ended, and so it's like worse for me.
You know what I will say about Casey, who had also a horrible night, very
For
close to
sure.
Sincere's.
Yes.
In the next conversation, they cool down, whatever. He does bring up the idea that he was building resentment, obviously.
Well, at least he admitted it.
Yes.
Unlike whatever is going on with Sincere, he again just made an excuse. Well, I'm a people pleaser, not actually taking actual true accountability for anything. It's like he always validates her feelings but doesn't actually change his actions, so it means nothing. It means nothing. It almost, if anything, makes it worse. They're acknowledging how bad you've hurt her and are still continuing with those patterns. Like, at this point, it's unfortunate because maybe he has learned. I don't think he has, but maybe he has. But he's not going to be tested again, and so we're never going to actually know. I think it's easy to make her breakfast and set up a cute little date. I think that's never been hard for him.
No.
That's never.
Matter
really
of
been the
fact, he did
point.
it for 2 girls he was talking to. So.
Yep. I don't think that really shows much of anything. And the girls just ate that up.
I mean, granted, it's doing like just a step above the bare minimum, which
Sure.
I think it's crazy that we truly never saw anything like that until Casa Amor happened.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's bananas to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, maybe you guys should be asking for more. Maybe you're projecting. Bananas.
So exhausting.
And then also just to say, Corbin, I think, surprisingly took his insults like a champ.
Yeah.
He'd say like the shit under his breath or whatever after the fact. Whatever, I still think he's a horrible person. But at least in the moment, he can just take it and shut up.
And I think I actually didn't realize that Sincere could be lying to everyone, not just Melanie. And we've seen that with the way Corbin reacted in the recoupling. I mean, he like read him to filth. He was like, he lied to me too. Like, I I respect like trusting relationships so much, and that has just been broken. Like that was very revealing to me. Um and it surprises me that he's the one to stand up to Sincere like that. Same with Barmita. I'm very shocked that she's, out of all the girls, the one to say, Melanie, you deserve better.
To be fair, I think that girl is just really delusional.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely not like my favorites or anything like that. I'm not like, whatever. I still don't think they're. We'll get to the compatibility
It's like
later.
the girl, it got worse. Blank is defending you. Blank is attacking
no, that's what
you.
I'm saying. It's like, for them to be the ones to say all that, you like, that's when you know it's bad. But I am actually very thankful for that. It's like I low-key want to give them more leeway than maybe they deserve, because I mean, at least they're the only ones so far that have really actually given it to him like he deserves. So yeah. I don't know.
Crazy. Last thing I want to say on movie night. A big okay, so we've had a little bit of a conversation about how like you and Cole could never do Love Island for a variety of reasons, whereas like we've been talking about how I'd be more like
no, Love Island is like my hell.
Yes,
it really is. It's like everything I would ever hate in an experience is Love Island, which is why I think I love it so much, because it's like I don't have to be there to still experience the drama and like ickiness. So I'm like, I hate this for y'all. I could never. Anyways, yes, but you would.
Yeah, but we've been like talking about how like I could do a Love Island experience.
Yeah, if you were married. Yeah.
Yes.
In another lifetime.
But then the movie night was like, you see, this is probably the biggest reason I could not do something Love Island adjacent, because if my man was out here talking like Bryce was, trying to give these men leeway, these like even the slightest leeway, I'm like, I can't with you.
He's the one that I think is defending them the least, and he's still pissing me off.
No, he's just
crazy.
Like there's like Carl, you're perfect. You're sitting there,
yeah.
You're reacting, but not interjecting yourself into it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing to do. Yeah. Bryce, I think I love you. I do. Like, I think you're such a guy. Yeah. But if people are digging their graves, just like Casey and TT, it is not your job to dig him out of the grave that he dug for himself. No. And that's like of him and Sincere. Mm-hmm. Like that was the biggest dick Bryce has ever given me. To the point where it's like, and now I would have a problem if I was Trinity. I'd be like, we need to have a conversation because we need to set some standards on who you're defending. Yeah. It's giving like going to Love Island and like not talking like personal, like political, religious kind of beliefs things, and being like, oh yeah, I'm a Christian. Oh, I probably should have told you this. I'm a Satanist. And it's like, okay, cool. Maybe we should have talked some like actual value stuff instead of vibes. Yeah. It's, I don't know. I think that it's more.
I will say I think it's really funny when Sincere was digging himself an even further hole, an even deeper hole, and Bryce was like, "Just say you're right and shut up." He's basically like, "Stop talking," and then all of the guys saying, "Sincere, if Melanie tries to sleep in soul ties, let her have the bed," and he doesn't. Everyone's like, maybe. Everyone's like, maybe, maybe he did, and production just didn't show that. I don't have that much faith in him. I don't think he did.
Yeah, I agree.
No. Anyways, when everyone's telling you what to do and you're still not doing it, I'm done. Melanie, I hope you pull a Kaylor and you watch the show back and decide to finally break up with him. I hope at the reunion you guys are not sitting together.
They better not. dude. And ugh.
And that's the thing. I feel like before these few episodes, we were like, Melanie, we're kind of over you if you take him back. But then we were both like, after it was going in, it was like, no, she's coming to the right realization. Everyone else around her, boys and girls, are gaslighting her to take him back. So we no longer, it's not like a thing where we're like, it's your fault because you keep taking him back. No, it's not. It's not at all. But we just are like rooting for her to respect herself more.
Yeah.
And like, obviously Sincere is horrible, like, but that's like a given. That's like, we don't even have to say that because that's just, everybody knows that. But it is annoying to see someone you really like keep going back and taking the same disrespect. But she actually like got to a point where she didn't want to anymore. She was done. But everyone around her is gaslighting her and telling her to forgive him and take him back. And so we're like, you know what? We no longer, it's no longer on you, like, at all, in the slightest. Actually, I can't imagine, like, being in a place where you're probably not fed as much as you should be. You're in sunlight sweating and getting dehydrated and all the things every single day. You're fed alcohol probably more than you should be fed, like, you should be fed water more. You're trapped with the same horrible people every day. Like, I can't imagine the psychological like warfare that could be going on in a setting like that, and everyone's gaslighting you. It's like, you know what, I just feel sad for you that everyone's horrible around you and like is not wishing the best for you.
I just think whatever Sincere has, like, whatever pheromones are coming off of him to just make everyone not be icked out about him is crazy. Like, dude can hardly make a sentence. Like, I don't understand where everyone's thinking this charm is coming from. It's crazy.
I don't know. So annoying.
So I think that will lead us to our couple pyramid.
And on the bottom, we have all the men.
So I will say, this one I kind of approached similar to the couple dumping, where I'm like, on the health of the couple, kind of a little less regarding my like feelings about them. So while you're writing, I'll go first. At 7th, I have Melanie Insincere. I think the idea that they only had, 3 votes, I think? No, they had 2 because the third one would have been a 3-way tie. So,
Yes.
Dude, objectively horrible together. I don't remember who said it, but so truly, even if they both are good people, they bring out just the worst in each other. And objectively, like, at least 95% of that is coming from Sincere himself.
Well, and I feel like we were the ones to kind of clock that. I remember us saying that on one of our previous episodes because we weren't fans of Melanie at first, but then we were kind of realizing, like, oh, it was when she went to Casa, we were like, wait, she's not this person. It's just really Sincere bringing this out of her. We actually love her. It's just she's in a horrible relationship that is bringing out the worst side of herself. So I totally agree.
Absolutely.
And it is Sincere's fault, just to be clear.
Yes.
So, yeah. Love our girl Mel.
Girl, run. So truly, I, like, need you to get off this island, because this is, like, almost a horror movie. Like, I could write a horror movie script based off of this experience.
Yes, at what point is it, like, emotional abuse? At what point does it get to that? At what point does she have to cry enough for this to be like, this is beyond toxic and unhealthy?
I don't know. Like,
It's horrible.
I would like to think if I was in this circumstance, truly we'll never know. I think that needs to be remembered for everyone who's judgy out there.
Yeah.
I would like to believe I would have left 2 nights ago. Like, I would probably have left the day after movie night when I was like, I can't come back from this. And I think because of this whole dynamic, I'm not going to find another relationship here on Love Island. So I'd either, like, single myself and just, like, enjoy the villa for the rest of the time I was there, or I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna get a mimosa to go. Melanie.
I also have a good question after this, but anyways,
Okay.
we'll do our pyramid first. Oh, my number 7 is also Melanie and Sincere. I don't have much to add, other than I really am rooting for her to get out of that. I think it's horrible, and I hope that she goes on the internet and sees that everyone's rooting for her to get out of it. I hope she doesn't see the side that is like harsh to her about it, because I ultimately do not think, like, I don't want to put the blame on her, because she's being manipulated and gaslit, and so you can only do so much in that scenario, and I think she is doing her best. So
Absolutely. At number 6 for me, bottom tier, I have Permita and Corbin. I think Kenzie was spot on the money. Literally, and Permita comes out here, and I think Permita represented herself really well in this, like, recouple dumping. I actually think both of them did, surprisingly. But so truly, it's giving you wanted this to work, so you're projecting it to make it work. Literally before you even got on the island. It's a really weird dynamic. And literally, I can't remember if it was this episode or the last episode, but you were like, Permita's like, we know each other on a really deep level. And he's like, I, like, don't know you. And she's
don't
like,
think we
okay, let's have a
do.
deep conversation. And then it ends with Corbin smacking her ass and being like, give me a kiss. And it's like, this, I don't know what you think this was, but if you think this is deep, you, like, need more different people in your circle, because that's crazy.
I mean, I just remind myself that he's 22, and I feel like he doesn't know what deep is yet.
I don't think either of them do. It's crazy. I think they're both on a very Delulu trip.
Yeah.
I don't think either's doing the other wrong in any case, but I think they just, like, so truly are on. I think they are the same, and I think Kenzie was right. Like, you're just seeing yourself in a mirror and, like, loving yourself through another person, which is very unhealthy.
No, it's
especially when they
so
do
crazy.
something that will remind you that they're not you.
It's so crazy when she's like, I think it's just lustful, and she's like, no, we're just so hot. Okay.
No,
That's
girl,
crazy.
you're something.
Next on my pyramid is Casey and Tiara. I still don't care for them. I think their apologies are fake. I don't like them. I want them out of my villa. Yeah. Even though we've moved on, I think it's like fake move on, and I think the people responsible for that are the people I like, not them. So.
Yeah. My 5th place, I have TT and Casey. I will give them that TT will stand up for her man, regardless of how horrible he has been. Unless it's to her. And you know what? There's something to be said there, especially given the couples here.
We said, actually, at least they're compatible.
Well, that's the thing. I think beyond
They're made
that,
for each other.
they don't. Because
Oh, I don't think they're gonna last, but I think they are for a while because they're just so perfectly horrible people.
well, that's the thing. It'll take their first disagreement, because they had their first disagreement on Casa, and they both handled it horribly. So all it's going to take is something either here or in the real world, and it's going to bounce back to that, and he's going to be like, wait, this isn't a good way to handle conflict either. But then he's going to, I mean, I guess that'll be his moment of truth if he's actually learned the consequences of not verbalizing your problems when you have the opportunity to. But then I think she's also clearly not receptive to that. So, especially not off the jump. So, this is not going to last. They have, I think, some qualities that would be good for a relationship, but not a good foundation at all.
Listen, I hate to say it, but I did put Kinsey and Dylan next in my pyramid. And a lot of this, not even heavy, I guess heavy lifting in a bad way, is because of Dylan. I don't like him. I think he's fake. But also just Kinsey, I'm just like, them as a couple, I'm kind of over them too. I think, unfortunately, she's stuck. And I hate that for her. I don't know. I just don't really care for them at this point, and I think that sucks because I loved her for so long. Like in that Megan Thee Stallion episode, she was so fun to watch. But then she's just getting hated on, and I don't know. I think this is more so like they're just now boring to me, not so much. And I do dislike Dylan, just like his icky personality. But yeah, this might be my hottest take. But anyway.
My number 4th is Kenzie and Dylan for a lot of very similar reasons. I feel like he's actually very emotionally manipulative. I think he's so truly trying to guilt her into staying into this relationship.
Yeah.
I think if you do, like, you had a really romantic massage thing on the dock. And you know what? Green flag there.
Awesome, yeah.
But then to kind of treat that as like and now if you don't stay with me, that's messed up. That's manipulative. Then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. And now you're just being really gross. And he continues to be icky outside of that. Dude, you saw how Kenzie was moving before. Don't act like you're shocked. Like, that's so gross and, like, high-key the biggest confirmation that you're just manipulating everything.
Yeah.
And Kenzie is so drained around him. Like,
that's why I'm like, I hate it because they're just boring now because she doesn't have a personality anymore. She's just drained. And I hate that for her.
think, unfortunately, I don't know. And this is scaring me because I could see Kenzie convincing herself to leave the island with him. And I hope she doesn't.
They're not going to last.
Yeah, I think Kenzie, I think, unfortunately, at this point, I think Love Island was just a vibe for you. And I love that for you, but Dylan ain't it.
No. Nope. My next one is Corman and Parmita. I did put them above Kinsey and Dylan for the sole purpose of them calling Sincere out. That is doing a lot of positive heavy lifting here. Yeah. I don't like them as a couple. I think they're icky. I think they're very lustful. But solely just for the purpose that they like kind of tag teamed that. They ate that. And I'll give them that.
And you know what? I will say lustful is not a problem if you also have a connection along with it.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
Well, and at least like admit, at least be aware.
There's a lot of delusion with them.
Yes,
high key,
for sure.
high key.
But also they're very compatible in the way that they're both very obsessed with themselves.
And they're able to project that onto each other, which is crazy.
I mean, they're not gonna last either, but like they might last for a while. Just because of that.
Okay. I think I'm going to be so surprised if our top 3 are not the exact same order. So I'm going to go ahead and write all this out.
Sure, I'll do that too.
So, one more second. So, on the pedestal, with bronze, I have Kata and Zach. Silver, I have Anaya and Carl. And first place, gold, I have boyfriend and girlfriend, Trinity and Bryce.
Yes, mine are the same. Kata and Zach, you're only in the 3rd spot, despite how much I don't like Zach because of Kata.
You know what?
I want y'all to know that.
At this point, I think, literally right before we started this episode, I think it's just settled in my mind that Kata will settle for Zach, and that just has to be okay. Ultimately, I think it is okay because all the cards are out there. Like, he's not hiding anything from her anymore, and she's still, like, vibing with it. So I'm like, okay, girl, if that's what you want, whatever. I think outside of the island, I think that they would be stronger than any of the couples here in the bottom row, ultimately.
Yeah.
So I think in a normal setting, they'd be fine. I think Love Island has just been an unfortunate place for them to meet.
Mm-hmm.
I think this could be fine.
Yeah.
Even if I think my girl deserves better. But you know what, girl? I also think she's also in that same vine of Friendship Island is not letting the girls call out Zach appropriately.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a lot more alarming for Sincere.
Yeah.
Because what do you mean all of the guys and half of the girls in the casa knew that Zach's partner left and no one told her? And then
when she was making it a big deal, everyone's like, stop making it a big deal. I'm so over it. And I love that she was like, don't tell me not to make it a big deal. It is a big deal. I feel like she also, I agree. I feel like she's trying, and it's just not the environment to be her.
no, like,
I don't know. I still think they're gonna last, but I don't think they're gonna last like forever. I don't like I don't see them getting married. But I do see them maybe lasting for a while and being together at the reunion at least.
I don't know. I could also see this being, I don't know, better outside of here when they're not constantly forced into such an enclosed environment. I think that does
It's
have
true.
very different effects than people who are allowed to go out, do their own things, and then come back to each other like a standard relationship is.
Yeah.
I think ultimately Zach has a lot more flaws than Kata does,
For sure.
but he's also clearly a lot more introverted than extroverted. So I
Yeah.
don't think she would have to worry about him once they get off the island. That much. Anaya and Carl. Or do you have anything to add to that?
No.
Okay.
They're new, they're cute. I think they have a good
They
foundation.
got hella vibes.
Even if Anaya is playing too much. I appreciate Carl's reaction to, because some guys would have used like her outburst as an excuse to like get the ick or whatever. But I'm glad that he was like, it was warranted, and you apologized after. Like he's like, you did what you had to do, and I think that's a perfect response. Yeah. Green flag. I love them. I love when they woke up and he had his glasses and was like
He looks
yawning
so
and then
cute
hug
with his
her.
glasses
It was
on.
So cute.
Oh, Carl, I
Yeah.
think is just such a vibe. He's like, I think it's very surprising that he came to Love Island, and he's Mr. All Eggs in One Basket, but it'd be working for him off the bat. So
Yeah.
pop off, King. I
Kind of
love
like
Carl.
Bryce and Trinity, like in Casa. They were like, well, but I am putting my eggs in one basket, and if that turns out bad, then oh well. And I love them for
Literally
that.
yearning to each other from across the frickin'
No, that's the movie
water.
I wanted to see. I'm like, can we have one happy movie? And maybe they did, because contestants have talked about in the past seasons. Oh yeah, there's way more movies that are played that y'all don't see.
Yeah.
So honestly, they probably did.
Honestly, they should just release like the videos out on the app.
Yeah, I agree.
Like to see what they're all working with. I think there's a lot of value to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they have really good vibes. I think it is still early days for them. I think them being able to get over Anaya choosing Casey is big for them. I think Carl brings in an energy that he didn't need to, but I think ultimately is like still healthy to have, where he's like, you had to deal with that. I don't want that to reflect on what we had. So it feels like they're kind of right back in stride, which is fun. I'd like to see them get tested in some capacity still. Although I will say his reaction to movie day, movie night, and the recoupling, I don't know, he's a vibe. But like, I'd like, not bombshell test, but like challenge test. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of growing to be done here, but I have a lot of faith in them. More than I have a lot of other new couples.
Yes. Well, speaking of, when they get towards the end, at least for season 6, I know at some point they narrowed it down to 4 couples, because then they have their finale and it's just the 4 couples. They focus on them, have a lot of deep conversations of where they're going to be outside of the villa, and then they pick their top 3 basically. I mean, I guess top 4 in that sense, but they have a little like podium thing, and then they pick their number 1. Who do we think? I think this is probably overall pretty obvious, but I do think there's still room for conversation. Who do we think is going to be the top 4?
Okay, Bryce and Trinity.
Obviously,
if they don't
they're
get
winning.
the first, that's rigged.
Yes, absolutely. They're going to win, no question. And I think Anaya and Carl are gonna get second or third. Kaden and Zach would only maybe get second for the sole purpose of it. They've been together longer. But season 6, Leah and Miguel got second, and they were also not together very long. They were just healthier than the other couples.
Mm-hmm.
So
The real question is, I think these 3 shoe-in.
I think our top 3 are all shoe-ins. Who gets the 4th spot?
I think...
And I fear they're gonna give it to Melanie and Sincere. I don't want
know.
them to, just to be clear. But I think production has focused on them too long for them to not have a bias against them. And I think they like Melanie and Sincere.
Well, of
However
course they
gross
do.
that is.
I just note because it's getting them so much interaction.
I know, and
Ugh.
I'm like, I feel like, because especially compared to the other 3, I don't think those 3 are going to end up.
Okay. I think immediate knockouts on our bottom row. Bear with me. I think Permita and Corbin, you guys don't know each other. You're strangers who think you're looking in a mirror. And Kenzie and Dylan, there are just not vibes there.
Yeah.
And if there are vibes, they're weird vibes.
Yeah.
People don't like Kenzie. Some people don't like Dylan. I think that's enough that that's not happening.
Yeah.
So between TT and Casey and Melanie and Sincere.
I think production is honestly definitely more biased towards Melanie and Sincere.
For
They
sure.
like them more. They put the camera on them more. They're good TV, so they would make for a good 2 or 3 hour finale, however long that finale is. They're usually at least 2 hours, but people were like, you should make it 3 hours. Oh. Anyways,
I think
make it 3 hours of Trinity and Bryce and I'm sold, but they're not going to do that. So anyways.
the real question, but she's been down to her last straw for so long.
I don't know. I've been disappointed in how they've turned out too many times. I'm no longer, I'm like, she's not leaving him. She's leaving the show with him. Now she might immediately break up with him afterwards, but she's staying until they kick her out.
But I do think ultimately they would get more votes than I think Casey and TT will.
Yeah. I
which
agree.
is
We just don't really have a good number 4. We have honestly a pretty great top 3. We don't really have a good number 4, but I do remember them keeping 4 because they kept the 3 girls that everybody liked in their men, and then they kept Nicole and Kendall. I'm like 99% sure, because then they all did a wedding challenge where they dressed up. So I'm pretty sure they keep 4. Anyways, we'll see. They could always change things too. It could change season by season, so I don't know.
Dude, if it was the top 3, it'd be pretty peak.
Yeah, and
But-
they're going to be on the little podiums, and I think that's great for them. But, yeah. Especially for these 2, they're going to show them, they're going to be so happy together, and that's going to be them, and everyone's going to cheer for them. They're going to have fireworks and win $100,000, so good for them.
Gosh. So, you said we have at least 2 challenges to look forward to?
Oh, I don't know. I know,
Or that
again,
you're
and that was
familiar
from
with?
season 6. I don't know how they did it season 7, and also everyone hated season 7, so I don't know if they would do that again. I just really liked the wedding challenge. I've seen they usually do some sort of wedding or baby challenge. I think the baby challenge sounds gross because not everyone wants kids. But who knows? So I think they'll do some sort of compatibility challenge thing, and then they still have to meet families. So I think that's what we can look forward to the most.
You know what I think would be a fun challenge, and I think a beneficial challenge? Like a move-in challenge. Like because you know what the biggest breaking point of a relationship is? I would say, besides like kids.
Kids and finances are like the biggest reasons that people like split up. For
But
sure.
I would say like living in a shared space. Like
Yeah.
I think if there was a timed challenge of like you both are getting ready in a very small space or like something along those lines, I think
yeah.
that would be something fun to explore.
Yeah, and then I'm hoping we still have would actually kind of like if they had us pick the favorite couple so they could go to the hideaway. I would like for somebody to go to the hideaway one more time, and then maybe like the top 4 couples can also go on dates. I think that's also something they do is when they get closer to the finale, they all have dates. Like the finale's long because of that. They do like a challenge. They do their own little dates. They have deep conversations, and then they pick their winner. So it's a lot of like juice that fills the episode for sure. But that's the finale, and we've still got a little bit until then. So
Indeed.
I don't know.
So, question. Compared to season 6, and you said you've started season
7. I've seen the first 4 episodes.
Okay.
It's something.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So at least in comparison to season 6, where does this overall season kind of compare?
Oh, I think, it was okay. It was entertaining. I liked the people, or I didn't, or whatever. At least it was like drama until movie night, and the movie night was really good. But then everything after that and how they reacted and like folded so quickly really disappointed me. I think it's hard because I've only seen in its entirety season 6, so it's definitely not as good. But I wouldn't say it's way worse. It's just okay. Like, I would never see myself rewatching this. I do find myself wanting to rewatch season 6 sometimes. It's just a very long commitment. Especially when I want to watch some other seasons too for the first time. I ultimately don't see myself rewatching this season. So I think it's okay.
Yeah, I think right now this season for me, it bounces between like a 6 and a 7 on my like 10-point scale.
Me too.
And I think ultimately it's competing for us. It's trying to see how close it gets to a 7 overall.
Yeah. I'm trying to save my thoughts on what they can improve on for our last episode.
Sure.
But I do have thoughts, so stay tuned to hear those.
Okay.
But
yeah, I think that's the only big
Anything
question
else?
I had, as you are our resident Love Island expert.
Just not a very old resident, but I'm something. I don't know.
Sure.
So.
Well, I think we are going to call it there. We are going to, oh gosh, so is our next episode going to be the finale? Or do you think?
I don't know, because the other seasons have 37 episodes in total, including the reunion, so that means 36 actual episodes. And we just finished 27. So we still have like a few if they're doing the same thing.
Interesting.
And it would not end like next week. You would think like the perfect formula would be like Friday is the finale, and then Saturday they have the last After Sun, and then sometime later they have the reunion. I actually have no idea how much later they do, because it's always just been available to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be interesting. That wait will like I'll hate that wait, but anyways. So I don't know. It seems like it's gonna be next week and like half of the following week.
If there's a gap,
If
we
they follow
definitely would
that.
do 2 episodes. But I would say if it's like 3-day difference, I think.
I think it more so for me depends on what happens this next week. Is there enough to even
That's
talk
fair.
about?
Because if there's not bombshells in,
Yes.
I'm like,
what's
what else are we
happening?
doing?
Yeah. I don't know.
I think it's insane for any couples formed after Casa Amor to not be tested again by other bombshells. I think that's so like, oh yeah, like, yeah, you don't know then. And I think that's bullshit.
I don't know. It's
Casa
hard.
Amor is the ultimate test, but then if you fail that test, did you fail it because you actually were interested in this person, or because you you saw new eye candy? I think that's a very important question for anyone who's still remaining, and I think that changes my impression on them. Like, test Corbin and Permita.
I
Maybe they
don't
do have
know.
something deep that we're not seeing, but we don't know because you're not giving them the room to show that.
Mhm.
That's actions. And you know what, Melanie? This show is removing your Sincere's ability to show you action. And I think that's really shitty, actually.
Yeah.
Because we had a challenge like at least every other episode.
We just need more challenges. We need more compatibility challenges. I agree. I think fill the next week with a bunch of challenges and whatnot.
And I think messy challenges.
Yeah. Oh, people have pointed out there's still the Twitter challenge to come where they'll take actual tweets from Twitter, but take out the names, and the islanders have to guess who it's about. No, I love that one.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love that one, and that would work so well for this season. So hopefully we still have that to look forward to. Again, nothing's a guarantee, but I really hope that would work so well for this season.
Ooh. Y'all, there's ways they can bring me back. I'm not that far away, but I can be brought in, and I hope I am.
I hope now that the big drama has settled, we can just go back to like lower stakes kind of drama, just like in the moment.
Yeah.
Whatever. Short fallouts, whatever. Anyways,
we shall see, and we shall talk about it. So stay tuned for us to continue to cover to the end of Love Island. Until then, I'm your host, Luke.
I'm your host, Alicia.
And thank you so much for watching Not So Straight Nerds.
Bye.